.254 off pole. Stefano Amodi in turn 9 is P10. Simon of the Desert is 7th. Simon of the Desert improved is 4th with a 0:15.293. .121 off pole. 25 minutes remaining in the session. Simon of the Desert improved is 4th with a 0:15.258. .086 off pole. Siskanjani in turn 5 is 13th. Simon of the Desert is 3rd. Lekmansky is 2nd. Lekmansky is provisional pole with a 0:15.161. Ryan Wilson in turn 10 is 6th. Ryan Wilson improved is 5th with a 0:15.247. .086 off pole. Josh Flugler in turn 2 is P11. Mike Lavin is 6th. Narwhal is provisional pole with a 0:15.138. Lekmansky is provisional pole with a 0:15.094. Josh Flugler is 11th. Mellorow in turn 2 is 8th. Siskanjani in turn 9 is P13. Savas Farina in turn 4 is P11. Mellorow in turn 3 is 6th. Stefano Amodi is P10. Sisgunjani in turn 4 is P13. 20 minutes remaining in the session. Meloro in turn 8 is 6th. Stefano Amodi in turn 2 is P10. Narwhal in turn 5 is 2nd. Stefano Amodi is 10th. Mike Lavin in turn 6 is 7th. Savas Farina is P11. Sisgunjani in turn 4 is 13th. Josh Flugler in turn 2 is 12. Lekmansky is P1. Sisgunjani in turn 5 is 13th. Josh Flugler in turn 2 is P12. Ryan Wilson is P3. Josh Flugler in turn 3 is 12. Savas Farina in turn 3 is 11. Josh Flugler is P12. Savas Farina is P11. 15 minutes remaining in the session. Josh Flugler in turn 2 is 12. Ryan Wilson in turn 6 is P3. Josh Flugler in turn 3 is P11. Sisgunjani in turn 2 is 13th. Skiddy in turn 8 is 7th. Skiddy improved is P6 with a 0:15.256. 0.162 off pole. Sisgunjani in turn 10 is 13. Sisgunjani improved is P13 with a 0:15.698. 0.604 off pole. Narwhal in turn 8 is P2. Skiddy in turn 5 is P7. Meloro in turn 9 is P6. Josh Flugler in turn 10 is 11th. Lekmansky in turn 5 is first. Savas Farina in turn 5 is 12. Josh Flugler in turn 4 is P11. 10 minutes remaining in the session. Meloro in turn 8 is 6th. Savas Farina is 12. Savas Farina improved is 8th with a 0:15.300. 0.206 off pole. Zahn in turn 9 is 5th. Lekmansky in turn 6 is 1st. Stefano Amodi is P11. Scott B., the Duke, in turn 5 is 10th. Sihskunjani in turn 6 is P13. Simon of the Desert in turn 5 is 4th. Scott B., the Duke, is P10. Stefano Amodi is P11. 5 minutes remaining in the session. Sisgunjani in turn 8 is P13. Meloro is 6. Meloro improved is P4 with a 0:15.150. 0.056 off pole. Scott B., the Duke, in turn 10 is a pace car ending in 10 seconds. David Zahn in turn 8 is 6th. Green flag, go go go. Stefano Amodi in turn 5 is 11th. Simon of the Desert is 5th. Ryan Wilson in turn 5 is P2. Zahn in turn 4 is 6th. Mike Lavin in turn 9 is P10. Narwhal in turn 5 is P3. Mike Lavin is 10th. Stefano Amodi in turn 10 is P11. Zahn in turn 1 is P6. The qualifying session is now in overtime. Siskunjani in turn 7 is 13th. The race session is at North Wilkesboro in North Wilkesboro, USA. This is the formation
The wind
lap.
speed is 4
Maximum
km/h
speed
from
is
the
80
northeast.
kph or 50
Kevin
miles per hour.
Lekmansky is first.
Ryan Wilson is P2. Narwhal is P3. Meloro is P4. Simon of the Desert is P5. Davidson is P6. Skiddy is P7. Scott B., the Duke, is 7th. Sabas Farina is P8. Mike Lavin is 9th. Stefano Amodi is 10th. Josh Flugler is P11. Siskunjani is 12th. Lekmansky is P1. Race start. Ryan Wilson in turn 6 is P2. Narwhal is 3rd. Green flag, go go go. Meloro in turn 9 is P4, 0.2 behind Narwhal. Davidson in turn 8 is P5. Ryan Wilson is P6, 0.8 ahead of Savas Farina. Ryan Wilson lost 9th to Skiddy. Josh Plugler in turn 4 is 11th, 0.4 behind Ryan Wilson. Josh Plugler was 4.0 faster last lap. Melero in turn 6 is 3rd, 0.2 behind Narwhal. Zahn in turn 6 is 4th, 0.2 ahead of Simon of the Desert. Simon of the Desert on lap 8 is 5th, 0.2 behind David Zahn. Scott B., the Duke, in turn 3 is 7th, 0.3 behind Savas Farina. Mike Lobbin is P9, 0.1 behind Ryan Wilson. Skiddy is 10th, 0.2 behind Mike Lobbin. Melero is P3, 0.2 ahead of Zahn. David Zahn is P4, 0.2 ahead of Simon of the Desert. Sid Scangiani entering the pits is 13th. Simon of the Desert in turn 3 is P5, 0.2 behind David Zahn. Savas Farina is 7th, 0.1 ahead of Skiddy. Savas Farina lost P7 to Skiddy. Mike Lobbin is P9. Simon of the Desert is P5, 0.3 behind Melero. Mike Lobbin in turn 9 is 9, 0.5 behind Savas Farina. Sid Scangiani exiting pits. Savas Farina in turn 6 on lap 18 is 9, 0.5 behind Mike Lobbin. Savas Farina is now 9. Ryan Wilson in turn 5 on lap 19 is P8. Ryan Wilson lost P8 to Scott B., the Duke. Narwhal is 2nd, 0.5 behind Kevin Lekmansky. Josh Plugler is P6, 0.8 ahead of Mike Lobbin. Josh Plugler lost 6th to Mike Lobbin. Scott B., the Duke, entering the pits is P9. Josh Plugler is now P9. Narwhal in turn 4 is 2nd, 0.1 behind. Lekman's car has been deployed. Maximum speed is 80 kph or 50 miles per hour. Narwhal is now 3rd. Narwhal lost 4th to Simon of the Desert. Narwhal lost 5th to Mike Loban. Kevin Lekmanski in turn 9 is P1, 0.6 ahead of David Zahn. Skitty is P3, 0.5 ahead of Simon of the Desert. Mike Loban in turn 5 is P5, 0.8 behind Simon of the Desert. Scott B., the Duke, is P7. Narwhal exiting pits. Melrose is PA. Simon of the Desert in turn 6 is P4. The virtual pace car is ending 7 behind Skitty. Zahn is P2, 0.3 behind Kevin Lekmanski. Green flag, go go go. Skitty in turn 6 is 3rd, 0.3 ahead of Simon of the Desert. Simon of the Desert in turn 5 on lap 28 is 4th, 0.3 behind Skitty. Melrose in turn 2 is P7, 0.1 ahead of Narwhal. Melrose lost 7th to Narwhal. Skitty is P3, 0.2 ahead of Simon of the Desert. Simon of the Desert in turn 4 is P4, 0.3 behind Skitty. Ryan Wilson in turn 2 is 5th, 0.3 behind Simon of the Desert. Mike Loban is 11th, 0.3 behind Stefano Amodia. Simon of the Desert in turn 2 is 4th, 0.2 behind Skitty. Ryan Wilson in turn 1 is 5th, 0.1 behind Simon of the Desert. Stefano Amodia in turn 6 is P10, 0.3 behind Mike Loban. Narwhal is P6, 0.5 behind Simon of the Desert. Narwhal passed Ryan Wilson for P4. Simon of the Desert is 11th, 0.3 behind Melrose. Davidson is P2, 0.9 behind Lekmanski. Stefano Amodi is 9, 0.1 ahead of Melero. Stefano Amodi lost 10th to Simon of the Desert. Stefano Amodi lost 11th to Savas Farina. Narwhal is P3, 0.5 behind Skiddy. Scott B, the Duke, is 7th, 0.5 behind Josh Plugler. Narwhal in turn 1 is 3rd, 0.2 behind Skiddy. Narwhal passed Skiddy for P2. Skiddy is 3rd, 0.1 behind Narwhal. Lekmanski is P4, 0.4 behind Skiddy. Skiddy is P4. Skiddy lost 4th to Ryan Wilson. Ryan Wilson is 4th, 0.1 behind Lekmanski. Skiddy is 5th, 0.3 behind Ryan Wilson. Savas Farina in turn 9 is P11 battling Simon of the Desert. Simon of the Desert was 4.8 faster last lap. Narwhal is P2, 0.4 behind Zahn. Ryan Wilson in turn 10 is 4th, 0.5 behind Kevin Lekmanski. Narwhal is P2, 0.1 behind Zahn. Stefano Amodi is P12. Ryan Wilson is P4. Best lap is a 0:15.186. Simon of the Desert on lap 54 is P9, 0.4 behind Mike Lobbin. Narwhal is 2nd, 0.2 behind Zahn. Simon of the Desert in turn 9 is 9th, 0.2 behind Mike Lobbin. Narwhal is P2, 0.1 behind Zahn. Ryan Wilson in turn 10 is fourth, 0.5 behind Lekmansky. Ryan Wilson is now P3. Stefano Amodi in turn 9 is P12. Ryan Wilson in turn 10 is third, 0.4 behind Lekmansky. Lekmansky in turn 8 is P5, 0.1 behind. Pace car has been deployed. Maximum speed is 80 kph or 50 miles per hour. Sgunjani entering the pits is P13. Lekmansky passed Narwhal for fourth. Narwhal is P5, 1.5 ahead of Scott B, the Duke. The virtual pace car is ending. Green flag. Go go. The virtual pace car has been deployed. Josh Flugler maximum in turn 10 on lap 64 is 70 miles per hour. 2.7 ahead of Simon of the Desert. Josh Flugler is now 6th. Sgunjani exiting pits. Melero in turn 9 is 10th, 0.4 behind Savas Farina. Narwhal exiting pits. Melero passed Savas Farina for 9th. Ryan Wilson in turn 6 is 2nd, 0.3 behind David Zahn. Skiddy is 3rd, 0.4 behind Ryan Wilson. Ryan Wilson is P2, 0.2 behind David Zahn. Scott B, the Duke, is P5, 0.4 behind. Pace car is ending this lap. Josh Flugler in turn 6 is P6, 0.3 behind Scott B, the Duke. David Zahn is first. Green flag, 0.2 ahead of Ryan Wilson. Ryan Wilson in turn 9 is P2, 0.3 ahead of Skiddy. Skiddy in turn 9 is 3rd, 0.1 ahead of Lekmansky. Lekmansky in turn 8 is P4, 0.2 behind Skiddy. Scott B, the Duke, is P7, 0.5 behind Josh Flugler. Josh Flugler was 0.9 faster last lap. Ryan Wilson is 2nd, 0.5 behind Zahn. Scott B, the Duke, in turn 4 is 7th, 0.2 behind Josh Plugler. Scott B, the Duke, is now P6. Kevin Lekmanski in turn 1 is 8th, 0.5 behind Narwhal. Stefano Amodi in turn 7 is 10th. Scott B, the Duke, is 6th, 0.1 ahead of Narwhal. Scott B, the Duke, lost P6 to Narwhal. Meloro in turn 5 is 9th. Scott B, the Duke, in turn 10 is P6, 0.3 ahead of Lekmanski. Josh Plugler in turn 9 is 6th. Josh Plugler lost P7 to Lekmanski. Narwhal in turn 9 is P6, 0.1 behind Scott B, the Duke. Narwhal passed Scott B, the Duke, for P5. Scott B, the Duke, in turn 9 is 6th, 0.1 ahead of Lekmanski. Scott B, the Duke, is now P8. Scott B, the Duke, lost 8th to Meloro. Simon of the Desert in turn 1 is 4th, 0.4 behind Skiddy. Simon of the Desert is now P3. Kevin Lekmanski in turn 6 is P7, 1.4 behind Josh Plugler. Lekmanski passed Josh Plugler for 6th. Ryan Wilson is 2nd, 0.4 behind Zahn. The leader has just finished the race. Zahn finished P1. Ryan Wilson finished 2nd. Sabas Farina finished 11th. Lekmanski finished P6. Meloro finished P8. Narwhal finished 3rd. Simon of the Desert finished 4th. Scott B, the Duke, finished P9. Josh Plugler finished P7. Skiddy finished 5th. Stefano Amodi finished P10. Mike Laban finished 12th. The race session is at North Wilkesboro in North Wilkesboro, USA. This is the formation lap. The wind speed is 2 km/h from the northeast, 80 kph or 50 miles per hour. P1. Sabas Farina is P2. Stefano Amodi is third. Scott B., the Duke, is P4. Melloro is fifth. Josh Flugler is P6. Kevin Lekmanski is 7th. Skiddy is P8. Simon of the Desert is 9th. Narwhal is P10. Ryan Wilson is 11th. David Zahn is P12. Mike Laban is P1. Race start. Stefano Amodi is second. Sabas Farina in turn 9 is P3. Green flag, go go go. Scott B., the Duke, is 7th, 0.1 ahead of Skiddy. Scott B., the Duke, lost 11th to Zahn. Stefano Amodi is P2. Best lap is a 0:18.440. 0.003 off the fastest lap. Stefano Amodi lost P2 to Melloro. Lekmanski is P4, 0.1 behind Stefano Amodi. Lekmanski passed Stefano Amodi for P3. Stefano Amodi in turn 10 is 4th, 0.1 ahead of Simon of the Desert. Simon of the Desert in turn 9 is P5, 0.3 behind Stefano Amodi. Ryan Wilson in turn 9 is 6th, 0.2 behind Simon of the Desert. Ryan Wilson is now P5. Ryan Wilson is now 3rd. Savas Farina is 9th. The virtual pace car has been deployed. Maximum speed is 80 kph. Savas Farina is now 9. Ryan Wilson in turn 9 is 3rd, 0.2 behind Simon of the Desert. Narwhal in turn 6 is 4th, 0.4 behind Ryan Wilson. The virtual pace car is ending turn 5 is P7, 0.5 ahead of Scott B, the Duke. Ryan Wilson in turn 10 is P3, 0.3 behind Simon of the Desert. Go go go. Simon of the Desert is 5th, 0.1 behind Skitty. Skitty was 0.8 faster last lap. Simon of the Desert lost 10th to Savas Farina. Skitty in turn 5 is 7th, 0.1 behind Meloro. Skitty is now P10. Skitty passed Savas Farina for P9. Zahn in turn 5 is 4th, 0.1 behind Scott B, the Duke. Lekmansky is P5, 0.1 ahead of Meloro. Meloro is P6, 0.2 behind Kevin Lekmansky. Simon of the Desert is P11. Josh Plugler in turn 6 is P12, 0.3 behind Simon of the Desert. Kevin Lekmansky in turn 2 on lap 18 is 5th, 0.2 behind Zahn. Kevin Lekmansky is now 4th. Scott B, the Duke, in turn 1 is P5, 0.3 behind Kevin Lekmansky. Kevin Lekmansky was 0.6 faster last lap. Narwhal in turn 6 is P9, 0.3 behind Meloro. Josh Plugler in turn 3 is 12, 0.4 behind Simon of the Desert. Zahn is P3, 0.1 ahead of Lekmansky. Lekmansky is 4th. Zahn is P3, 0.2 behind Mike Lavin. Kevin Lekmanski in turn 10 is P4. Stefano Amodi in turn 9 is 6th. Stefano Amodi is now 5th. Stefano Amodi lost P5 to skidding. Zahn is 3rd, 0.2 behind Mike Lavin. Lekmanski in turn 10 is 4th, 0.1 behind Zahn. Mellero in turn 6 is P8, 0.4 behind Scott B, the Duke. David Zahn is P3. Lekmanski in turn 9 is P4, 0.3 behind Zahn. Mellero in turn 5 on lap 31 is 8th, 0.3 behind Scott B, the Duke. David Zahn in turn 9 is P3, 0.2 behind Mike Lavin. Lekmanski in turn 9 is P4, 0.3 behind David Zahn. Mellero in turn 4 is P8, 0.3 behind Scott B, the Duke. David Zahn in turn 8 is P3, 0.2 behind Mike Lavin. Lekmanski in turn 7 is P4, 0.3 behind Zahn. Mellero in turn 2 is 8th, 0.2 behind Scott B, the Duke. Mellero is now P7. Narwhal in turn 3 is P8, 0.2 behind Mellero. Narwhal is now 8th. Narwhal entering the pits is 9th. Stefano Amodi in turn 2 is 6th, 2.7 ahead of Scott B, the Duke. Stefano Amodi was 0.6 faster last lap. Narwhal exiting pits. David Zahn in turn 6 is 3rd, 0.2 behind Mike Lavin. Kevin Lekmanski in turn 6 on lap 41 is P4, 0.4 behind Zahn. David Zahn in turn 6 is 3rd, 0.2 behind Mike Lavin. Zahn is now P4. Skiddy in turn 5 is P3, 0.5 behind Lekmanski. Mike Lobbin in turn 9 is P7, 0.2 behind Scott B, the Duke. Skiddy in turn 3 is P3, 0.7 behind Lekmanski. Mike Lobbin in turn 6 is P7, 1.4 behind Scott B, the Duke. Skiddy in turn 1 is P3, 1.0 behind Lekmanski. Mike Lobbin on lap 51 is P7, 1.3 behind Scott B, the Duke. Skiddy is P3, 0.4 behind Kevin Lekmanski. Mike Lobbin in turn 2 is P7, 0.3 behind Scott B, the Duke. Skiddy is P3. Mike Lobbin in turn 1 is P7, 0.3 behind Scott B, the Duke. Mike Lobbin passed Scott B, the Duke, 4-6. Scott B, the Duke, in turn 4 is P7, 0.2 behind Mike Lobbin. Skiddy is third. Best lap is a 0:15.307. 0.106 off the fastest lap. Scott B, the Duke, is P7, 0.4 behind Mike Lobbin. Skiddy is P3, 0.5 behind Kevin Lekmanski. The virtual pace car has been deployed. Maximum speed is 80 kph or 50 miles per hour. Lost P3 to Zahn. Stefano Amodi in turn 6 is P5, 0.3 behind Skitty. Kevin Lekmanski in turn 9 is P2, 0.5 ahead of Zahn. Ryan Wilson in turn 3 is first, 1.0 ahead of Lekmanski. Mellero in turn 6 is 8th, 0.9 behind Mike Lavin. Scott B, the Duke, is 6th, 0.9 ahead of Mike Lavin. Car is ending this lap. Zahn in turn 6 is 3rd, 0.4 behind Lekmanski. Narwhal exiting pits. Stefano Amodi in turn 10 is P5, green 0.3 behind Skitty. Scott B, the Duke, in turn 7 is P6, 0.1 behind Stefano Amodi. Scott B, the Duke, passed Stefano Amodi for P5. Scott B, the Duke, is now P4. Stefano Amodi in turn 8 is 5th, 0.4 behind Scott B, the Duke. Mellero in turn 6 is 7th, 0.1 ahead of Simon of the Desert. Simon of the Desert in turn 6 is 8th, 0.1 ahead of Narwhal. Narwhal in turn 5 is P9, 0.1 behind Simon of the Desert. Narwhal passed Simon of the Desert for P8. Simon of the Desert in turn 5 is 9, 0.3 behind Narwhal. Narwhal is P7 battling Mellero. Mellero in turn 3 is 8th, 0.3 ahead of Simon of the Desert. Simon of the Desert in turn 2 is 9th. Lekmanski in turn 4 is P3, 0.5 behind Skitty. Narwhal in turn 1 is P6, 0.1 behind Mike Lavin. Narwhal passed Mike Lavin for P5. Mike Lavin is P6, 0.3 behind Narwhal. Simon of the Desert is P8, 0.2 behind Stefano Amodi. Zahn in turn 10 is P9, 0.3 behind Simon of the Desert. Simon of the Desert in turn 9 is 9, 0.1 behind Zahn. Mike Lavin in turn 3 is 6, 0.5 behind Scott B, the Duke. Narwhal in turn 4 is 4th, 0.5 behind Kevin Letmansky. Narwhal lost P8 to Simon of the Desert. Narwhal lost 9th to Melero. Kevin Letmansky in turn 3 is 3rd, 0.5 behind Skiddy. Simon of the Desert in turn 10 is 7th, 0.1 ahead of Stefano Amodi. Simon of the Desert lost 7th to Stefano Amodi. Melero is P9. Stefano Amodi is 7th, 1.5 ahead of Simon of the Desert. Stefano Amodi lost P8 to Melero. The leader has just finished the race. Ryan Wilson finished 1st. Josh Flugler finished 10th. Sabas Farina finished P11. Skiddy finished 2nd. Lekmansky finished 3rd. Scott B, the Duke, finished 4th. Mike Lavin finished 5th. David Zahn finished P6. Stefano Amodi finished P9. Simon of the Desert finished 7th. Melero finished P8.